Okay, how's everybody doing today? Of course, my name is Kent. The name of the channel is EOS Bitcoin San Diego. I am in San Diego, California. It's Saturday, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Coast time. And I want to talk a little bit today about this channel. I want to talk a little bit today about where I'm going with this channel and what I'd like to do with it. One of the things I'd like to do is do a daily vlog, and I'd like to do it from my computer. I used to do it from the street, and a lot of people like to see me out walking around the streets um, and making these videos, but I can do so much more from the computer. And what I'd like to try and make the channel about is more of what's going on in the background of cryptocurrency and not what you hear from the mainstream media or what you're being kind of fed through the mainstream media or watching charts and making analysis through heads and shoulders and candles and all the other good stuff. And I'll show you an example of what I mean. A lot of people use these things to decide whether they should buy or not buy Bitcoin. I mean, you could be in a bearish trend, you can be in a bullish trend. You got support levels, you got head and shoulders, you got candles, and you got a lot of other things. And I got the comments on. Thanks, Hash Brown, for letting me know that I'm live. I appreciate that. So I'm going to go into a little bit of the background stories. I'm going to talk about um, what I think is driving the market right now, where we're going and what we're going to do, and how this is all playing out and the kind of the behind scenes of what's going on, and maybe do a daily thing so we continue the dialogue going, and you can start relying on somebody that giving another a point of view outside of the charts, outside of the analysis. This is a snapshot. What you're looking at right now is a snapshot. A lot of people make financial decisions on these snapshots. They're historical financial snapshots, and there's so much more going on. And you can see that here recently with Elon Musk. I mean, Elon Musk throws a meme out about a breakup, and he kind of cryptically calls the breakup between him and Bitcoin. Everybody kind of thinks it's between him and Bitcoin. It drives the market down from 38 down to 36,000 because he throws a meme up. And then later on, he says, well, the meme wasn't about, me selling my Bitcoin. We're still holding Bitcoin. So when you've got guys throwing memes up, he's on Twitter, he's tweeting, and at the same time, you're trying to follow this head and shoulders thing and trying to figure out where you're going. I don't understand how you can make those decisions when you got a guy tweeting and driving the market down or buying $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin for Tesla, the company, which means he has a duty to his shareholders to make good financial decisions, and drives it up $30,000, $40,000. So the background stories is what's driving this market, not necessarily technical analysis. There's a lot of stuff going on. In fact, we are in the days of social media. We're in the days of communities, and we're in the days where people that have a lot of money can drive a lot of influence on the market and a lot of direction in the market. And you can see this with Dogecoin, Dogcoin, how that is basically a community that's driving that market. And even though there's not a lot going on technically, that market has been up and all over the place. In fact, I think I read a few weeks ago that 5,000 would have been a million in a year's time if you had followed Dogecoin, which a lot of people are technical people won't follow Deutsch because they don't see it. They see it as a knockoff of Bitcoin. Since it's a knockoff of Bitcoin, everybody just kind of ignores it and kind of thinks of it as a joke. Although people have made a lot of money on Dogecoin. So let's talk about this a little bit, and let's talk about where we're going. Let's talk about Elon Musk, because Elon Musk is not leaving Bitcoin. I guarantee you that. Elon Musk is heavily involved with this. If anybody now, he is like the media fanboy. I mean, he's like, everybody in the media loves this guy. And he has become like the guy that everybody wants to talk about, Elon Musk. And that's why he's driving this market. Elon Musk is like, no matter what he says, everybody's going to be all over it and they're going to love him to death because he fulfills something that is very important for a lot of people, which is he's about renewable green technology, renewable green energy. And that's the direction that the media wants the economy to go. A lot of people with a lot of money want the economy to go. And this guy has created technology, green technology, through the electric car and through his solar panels and through a lot of other technology he has. So he is trying to marry that up with Bitcoin right now. And that's what he's trying to do. And that's why he's so followed by the media, and that's why he's so loved by the media, and that's why the media is going to continue to follow him. And that's why what Elon says is going to have a great influence on the media, because the media wants Elon to be where he's at, and they want him to continue to push Bitcoin to renewable energy, which is green energy, which is solar energy, which is not fossil fuel. And I'll tell you how we got here. How we got here is really kind of interesting. Back, and most people that follow crypto know the history. If a lot of people that are into cryptocurrencies are also into history. You go back to the end of World War II when the United States had won the war, had saved the world from Nazi Germany, and in a very strong financial position. And they were able to negotiate that the dollar would be kind of a world reserve currency. That any country in the world that wanted to belong to this organization could trade their dollars for gold, and that would be easily convertible between dollars and gold. So that meant the U.S. economy was going to be very strong, and the U.S. economy was going to be very sound. In fact, the matter, my son told me the story today, which was very interesting. He said that when Vietnam was going on and France was heavily involved in fighting in Vietnam, that the French wanted gold for the dollars that they were holding, and the United States government said, no, we're not going to give you gold back for your U.S. dollars. We're going to send our military to help you in Vietnam. So in Vietnam, technically why we got in Vietnam was because the French wanted their gold back from their dollars. The United States didn't want to give it to them, so they decided to send the military to Vietnam instead. So how we got involved with Vietnam, the United States of America, was through the fact that we didn't want to give up the gold to France, but we'd give up our blood through our soldiers to Vietnam, and that's what happened. In that perspective, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it might have had something to do with it. That's what my son was telling me the other day. Where he found that information out, I don't know, but that goes to show you how this stuff gets played out. So fast forward through the years, and as the years go on, the Treasury ends up losing more and more gold by countries realizing that the United States is printing a lot of money, and we're going to go ahead and take dollars, or we're going to take in our dollars, and we're going to get gold. And of course, Richard Nixon got put in a very difficult situation because we had a lot of welfare programs going on in the United States, a lot of social programs going on in the United States. We had a Vietnam War that they had to pay for. We had a lot of inflation going on, and a lot of countries were starting to worry about that, and they were trying to turn their dollars into gold. So Nixon takes us off the gold standard in 1971. Of course, it makes a huge, huge difference in our economy. Now, all of a sudden, they can just inflate the currency to infinity and not have to worry about backing it with the gold or losing all the gold from the Treasury. So we end up going off the gold standard. At that time, my parents were on the farm. Farm commodities went up like crazy. We had a lot of inflation. Farmland went up like crazy. They did very well for quite a few years, probably for 5 or 6 years. Farming was a pretty good business to be in. But as things rolled on, you had to figure out a way to back the U.S. currency with something. You can't just say, hey, we have no backing whatsoever. So in comes this guy right here, a guy by the name of Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger, if you grew up in the United States during the time of my years of growing up, I grew up in the 60s, you have to be a big fan of Henry Kissinger. Henry Kissinger made everybody's life in the United States a lot better because he was able to go over and negotiate a deal with the people in Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, that they were able, for their oil, only be able to trade in dollars. So he was able to go negotiate, and he was a German Jew, went over to the Middle East and negotiated an agreement that they would only use dollars, only use the dollars for the purchase of their oil, which was able to monetize all the oil in the Middle East so that everybody around the world had to hold dollar bills in order to purchase it. So if you wanted industry, if you wanted your country to grow, if you didn't have oil as something that your country already had, you had to buy it. And if you bought it from the Middle East, which was the best place to buy it, you had to do it with dollars. So not only did Henry Kissinger negotiate that deal, he negotiated a value for the dollar that was attached to a real world resource, which was Middle East oil, which made my life easier and made everybody that grew up in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s life a lot easier, because there was value to the dollar. So without work product, because the work product literally was the resources of the oil in the Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, and was able to do that. And at the same time, back it with the U.S. Marines, the U.S. Air Force, and the U.S. Army. So anybody in the world that did not want to use the dollar to buy oil had a swift invasion. You saw what happened with Gaddafi. You saw what happened with Saddam Hussein. You saw what happened with all that. So for a long time, and then of course, Ronald Reagan was able to come in, Paul Volcker, and they were able to lower the inflation. And I was around at that time. I was a stockbroker in Denver, Colorado, and nobody wanted to hold dollars. Everybody was trying to get rid of dollars because of the inflation. Volcker and Reagan was able to stop the inflation and bring the economy back to where inflation became very low. And the way he did that is he built the military up. He built the military up because he was going to enforce this rule that you have to buy oil with dollars. And they were going to put some teeth into that. So that made the military very, very, very strong, and it made everybody scared not to break the rules. So the rule was, you're going to buy some oil, you're going to use the US dollar, and that's going to make the dollar valuable, and we're going to have a real world resource attached to the US dollar, and that's being oil in the Middle East, thanks to Mr. Henry Kissinger. Probably one of the greatest negotiators in the history of time. I think he's getting to be very old. I think he's in his late 90s. But this guy really was a true, I think, an immigrant from Germany. I think his grandparents were murdered by the Nazis. He came over pretty much a penniless immigrant, rose to the highest levels of power in the United States of America, was for many, many years, through the Nixon administration, the Ford administration, the Carter administration, through all these administrations, was probably the foreign policy leader. So he was able to go to all these countries around the world and create relationships and get these relationships to use the U.S. dollar for the buying of the oil, which was, it kept the U.S. economy growing without a lot of, our dollar became valuable. And I found that out through my career, when I was a developer. If I would have had to give a workout to people in other parts of the world, they always wanted the dollars. If I had a developer in India we were working with, they always wanted the dollars. People always wanted the dollars. Even like today, when I go to Tijuana, Mexico, the dollar bill has value. And one of the reasons it has value is because it's always had something attached to it that was very valuable. In the pre-1971, it was gold. Post-1971, it was oil. But today, oil has lost its value. It's lost its favor. It's lost its interest because of this kind of stuff, like the brown cloud. I mean, I was in Denver, Colorado, in the early 1980s, and this was a real thing. I mean, you see pictures like this all the time, where you'd see this is the Denver, Colorado skyline, and it was nothing but this brown cloud of pollution that would get locked in because of the mountains. So you had the Rocky Mountains kind of holding it in, and it really was a very ugly place to live because of the pollution, of all the pollution. So the oil being the main way of fueling the world became not so friendly when it started polluting the world, as I'm showing this picture of Denver, and I was there at the time and saw it, and used to, kind of every morning get up, look at it, and say, this is awful. How do we live in this garbage? And so oil has become kind of not very good. It's lost its favoritism. It's lost its acceptance. It doesn't have acceptance anymore like it did before. And then there was another event that took place, and that was Chernobyl. So at the same time that oil is getting very valuable, useful, but we do see problems with it, they were also trying to develop other sources of energy, which is nuclear energy. So through reactors, they were able to create steam, which were able to turn turbines, which was able to create energy. And Chernobyl was a way of doing that without oil. So it was like a clean energy. But then with the Chernobyl explosion, and whatever happened there. And I don't know. I'm speculating here. Please don't think I'm saying this for, but boy, it's kind of interesting. You had one of the safest uh, nuclear plants in the world, and it explodes. Uh, I don't know. Maybe people that really liked oil didn't like nuclear energy, and maybe there's some sabotage going on. I don't know. Maybe there was. Maybe there wasn't. But anyway, Chernobyl certainly didn't help the cause of clean energy. Oil continued to maintain its status as the way to fuel the world. And of course, Chernobyl, after this, nuclear energy kind of fell apart. Everything kind of fell apart. So still we have oil dominating the world. But it's become very, very unfavorable as far as the pollution that it creates and as far as renewables concerned. So in jumps a guy like Elon Musk. Well, actually, let's back up a little bit. Let's go back to Bitcoin. So here again, Bitcoin is money. And like the US dollar, Bitcoin has a real world asset that needs to be, it connects itself to the real world work product, which is electricity. So it takes computing power to make Bitcoin. And of course, this whole red herring about the electricity thing is really kind of a false argument, a fraudulent argument, in my opinion, because with Bitcoin, electricity isn't the real cost of creating Bitcoin. The real cost of creating Bitcoin is the infrastructure, which is the cost of the mining rigs, the ASIC computers, the amount of money that you have to spend to put the mining infrastructure together, all the networking computing power. That's really more expensive than the electricity. But the electricity is the part that they're focusing on. That's the part that they want you to be thinking about, because they want, if we're going to have money that's going to be attached to a real world resource, we want it to be attached to a renewable clean resource. And that is why Elon Musk has become so interested in Bitcoin, because this guy is creating energy, clean energy, renewable energy, energy for technology, energy for cars, energy for us by solar energy. And he's probably one of the foremost experts, probably invested as much money as anybody in it. So now he's looking at Bitcoin and he's saying, Bitcoin's bad because they're using fossil fuels, although they're probably not using much fossil fuels. But I want to make it so you can mine Bitcoin by solar energy. And if I can do that, I can maybe get you to buy a Tesla car. I can get you to put a solar panel on your house, and at the same time, you might be able to mine Bitcoin with that energy. And especially if you have a bunch of it attached to some ASICs computers and they're all working towards solving the problem, solving the latest puzzle, and you might be able to do this together. And that makes me happy. It makes you happy. It makes everybody happy. It makes the globalists are happy, because now we've got money attached to a real world resource. It's attached to a renewable solar energy, which comes from the sun, which, as I was talking about, this makes me think that the old saying is money does not grow on trees, but maybe money does grow on trees when you're using solar energy to mine Bitcoin. Money may grow on trees. So literally, Elon Musk may be the guy to make money grows on trees. So Elon's not separating from Bitcoin at all, because this is an opportunity for him to use his technology to mine money, not to go out and, I used to watch this show. Let's go. What's it called? It was called. It was on the History Channel. Gold mining History Channel. Let's do this. Gold Rush. There it was. Gold Rush. I used to watch this channel, and I used to get a big kick out of it, because I used to laugh at how much energy they had to make in order to mine some gold. So this was incredibly difficult. So you had to go and you had to, these guys. I think there's this guy named what was his name? His name is Parker. His grandfather. I kind of watch it for a little bit, but the programs like that kind of I lose my interest pretty quickly. But they had to have D8 caterpillars. They had to have all kinds of stuff going on in order to mine gold. And of course, at the end of the day, they all tallied up their gold to see what they got. Elon may be able to do this just by having the sunshine and being able to set you up so you can mine Bitcoin that way. So how much easier would that be? We could create money through clean solar technology as opposed to starting up a D8 Caterpillar with all the energy, the diesel fuel, and all of the stuff it takes in order to do that. So rather than mining in Alaska, we can mine with our roofs, our cars, as in Southern California or whatever, sunny, even in cloudy days, and in places where it's cloudy, maybe wind generated would be able to do this. So the future really is green technology mining Bitcoin. Bitcoin will be renewable green energy, and Elon Musk is the one that's going to bring it forth. Elon Musk is loved by the media, and he is loved by a lot of people with a lot of money. And this is being driven. So he is a central point of this whole Bitcoin story. Bitcoin being needing energy, Elon Musk being able to supply clean energy, our U.S. dollar being removed from oil, the petrodollar, where we can no longer use the petrodollar. Now we need to use green renewable energy. And of course, this is the way to do it. We can mine money through energy that's clean, renewable, and created by the sun. Literally money growing on trees, money growing on solar panels. So that's the direction it's going. That's why Elon's so heavily involved with this. This is why he's not going away. And that's why watching a guy like this is probably a little bit more profitable than watching these, because these aren't going to tell you much of what's going on with Elon. And of course, Elon is getting a lot of press. He's on Saturday Night Live. I mean, I personally don't like the fact he's got as much power that he has, but it's more of not that this one person is got so much power. What he's pushing is what the importance is. I'll give you, for instance, in my opinion, Donald Trump should have never been president of the United States if you liked him or just didn't like him. And the main reason why he should have never been president of the United States is because he came out, and I actually watched the interview when this happened, and said that John McCain, Senator McCain, was not a war hero. He was shot down over Vietnam, was in a Hanoi Hilton prison camp, and suffered immensely. And Trump came out and said the guy wasn't a war hero, even though he was flying an airplane over enemy country, was shot down and held prisoner for a number of years. In my mind, calling him something less than a hero was blasphemy, and should have discounted Donald Trump as somebody that should have never ran for president or ever been elected. Not only that, the fact that he said that he didn't like people that got captured. So anybody that got captured, he didn't like those kinds of people. So the fact McCain got captured means that he didn't like McCain, which is another ridiculous statement. I mean, I love to watch history channels. I love to watch a lot of things about history. And one of the things I can tell you, anybody that goes to war and is captured is not somebody you should despise or say that you don't like. Sometimes you have no choice but to be captured. If you look at Stalingrad and you look at the invasion of the Nazis into Russia, a lot of times they would encircle hundreds of thousands of soldiers, and they had no other choice but to surrender or be annihilated, and sometimes they were annihilated. So the mere mention that anybody that was captured in war is somebody that Donald Trump didn't like people that got captured in war was a ridiculous statement. Should have disqualified him for anything, but it didn't, because the media pushed him and they wanted his message to get out there, and obviously they continue to do that. The same thing with Elon Musk. As ridiculous as Elon gets, not that I compare Elon to Donald Trump, but I'm just saying that same mentality is in play here, that Elon Musk has an idea that people want to see happen, and the fact that it is renewable energy that is going to be attached to real world product, which is Bitcoin, that they want to see this happen, and this will happen. So this is going on today. This is why Elon is so important. He will continue to buy Bitcoin. He will continue to be involved in Bitcoin, and he will continue to make these tweets. And this is going to be something that we're going to have to deal with. But Elon has decided that mining Bitcoin is a lot more profitable than building cars. and he's probably a smart business guy in making that decision. He's built a pretty cool car, but he's got some very stiff competition. Mercedes-Benz is building cars for 150 years or 100 years at least. You've got all the Japanese and Chinese companies building cars now. So now he's got to be thinking there's easier ways to make money than the kind of everybody's decided now the electric car is going to be the future. And now he's got stiff competition in that area. Now let's just start playing the crypto game and start investing in Deutsche, investing in Bitcoin, mining Bitcoin with my technology, my renewable. Get the politicians to go along with me because they love renewable energy, and then get all the subsidies as well. You know, Elon didn't go from almost bankrupt to the richest guy in the world without a lot of help from government subsidies. Now, if he can create a way to mine Bitcoin with renewable green energy, he will get more subsidies. So he's looking at the ability to get the subsidies while he's creating money. And of course, the United States wants, somebody very powerful in this space. And this Elon Musk is the person to the lead, the United States into the Bitcoin area, into the Bitcoin world. Right now, I think China has the leg up in Bitcoin, but I think in the future, if the United States pushes Elon, and Elon continues to push Bitcoin, and Elon continues to push renewable green energy, and says everybody else is bad if you create Bitcoin any other way, that some of the miners in parts of the world where they aren't using renewable energy, that they become kind of like the people that we don't want to do business with. We only want to do business with the green technology, the green miners. In fact, I've heard some people, I think Kevin O'Leary even said that, I'll invest in Bitcoin, but the only way I'll invest in Bitcoin is if I know the miners are using green technology, green renewable technology, which is the way this is going. So look for our currency to become green currency, green technology, not fossil fuel technology, not fossil fuel. So this is the direction we're going. This is the backstory behind the market. This is why the market's been going up and down, is because Elon's been coaxing the miners into being green renewable resource miners and not electricity from any other source. So that's why we've had a bounce in the market, and that's what's going on. Not this head and shoulders and this technical stuff going on. There's a battle going on right now, and the battle is we're going to make sure every Bitcoin that ever gets mined is going to be done solar, wind, hydro. There's going to be some way, but it's not going to be done through coal and by fossil fuels. In fact, I found something kind of interesting. The governor of Kentucky is giving they're giving subsidies for people that mine Bitcoin in Kentucky. So right here, take a look at this. So Kentucky governor signs tax breaks for crypto miners into law. So here's Kentucky, which used to be a huge coal producing state. And now they're transitioning from coal to crypto. So the governor's signing into law the fact that we're going to go into crypto mining from Kentucky, which is going to transition our workforce is going to go from mining coal into mining Bitcoin. And you can see this happening, and this is a very smart move by the governor of Kentucky, and this is the direction that we're taking. We're going into proof of work, mining with green technology. You see states like Kentucky that used to be coal producing states now going into green technology, and now they're giving subsidies for you if you want to mine Bitcoin, green Bitcoin technology through the state of Kentucky, and you're going to get a lot of tax breaks. This is the kind of stuff Elon's going after. This is the kind of stuff Elon wants to take advantage of, because there's big money in playing the subsidy game, getting the money. Like I said before, I used to be a farmer. Farmers wouldn't be in existence today if it wasn't for the subsidies that they're given to grow crops. And that's the way everything is going today. But we have to have a renewable way of making money, a renewable way of having money not just created out of thin air like it is right now. It's got to be attached to something. It's got to be attached to a real world work product, which is electricity and energy, which is Bitcoin. That's what it's going. Which, after I've discussed all this, I want to go on to my next topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about Ethereum. Because, let's see. Get rid of this. Let's talk about Ethereum. Well, actually, let's just go to the markets. Actually, I want to go to Coinbase. Let's just go to Coinbase. Is this Coinbase? Yeah, this is Coinbase. So Ethereum, I want to talk a little bit about Ethereum because I want to talk about Ethereum 2.0 because this has been happening for quite some time now. Ethereum is going to be transitioning from proof of work to proof of stake because basically all Ethereum is the ability for smart contracts to be attached to the blockchain. So whereas Bitcoin was just simply money, a store of value, now a guy like Vitalik Buterin comes along and says, hey, look, let's attach smart contracts to this blockchain and we can do so much more. But the problem with Ethereum and Vitalik's idea was the fact that the transaction speed wasn't quick enough in order to attach a lot of code to the blockchain when it had to do a lot of computing power needed to do. So the proof of work has never really worked with Ethereum. And so they knew that early on. It was very limited. And I mean, as smart as Vitalik is, he's getting to sound more and more like Charles Hoskinson every day, which he keeps promising something that never happens, which is that Ethereum is going to go to Ethereum 2.2 is going to be 2.0 is going to be proof of work or proof of stake. And the way they're going to do that is basically through this beacon chain. So this is the beacon chain that is running the Ethereum right now. It's running a chain. This is a chain. And actually, this was started by the community. It wasn't started by Vitalik. It was started by the community that starts this. And they have staked a lot of Ethereum. Right now, they've got, 5 million Ethereum staked, which is billions of dollars, or Ether staked. And of course, here's the validators. It's got 157,000 validators. And they're running this testnet, this testnet. This looks a lot like EOS. This is a testnet chain that's running right now Ethereum, which is proof of stake. So at some time in the future, Ethereum is going to merge with this beacon chain, and we're going to have one chain. And this is magically going to happen. Like I say, Vitalik is sounding more and more every day like Charles Hoskinson and less like Vitalik Buterin. So somehow in the future, Ethereum is going to merge up with this beacon chain, and we're going to have one chain, and we're going to combine these two communities, one being proof of work and one being proof of stake, and it's all going to be run on this one chain, this beacon chain, I think. And all these communities are going to come together. When this is going to happen, nobody can tell you. Vitalik said it was going to happen a long time ago, and Vitalik said they were going to have a great event, they were going to have it happen, and now it sounds like it's just going to happen through some magical occurrence, in the future, or somehow through smoke and mirrors and a lot of everybody just deciding that we're going to work together. I don't know if it's going to be a hard fork or a soft fork, but there's going to be some sort of fork, and somehow Ethereum is going to turn into the beacon chain. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work out, and I'm not sure exactly how this is going to work out in the world of cryptocurrency either, because I don't know if anybody's really ever seen something like this happen. I mean, this happened with EOS. Somebody had to start the chain. The community had to start the chain on its own, which it did, but they'd already planned on being proof of stake way in the beginning. Ethereum has a great community, and of course, everything's driven by communities. If you don't think so, just look at Dogecoin or Doge. Now we have an Ethereum community. Now it's going to merge up with this proof of stake community, which is the beacon chain, and they're all going to merge together. And we don't even know when this is going to happen or how it's going to happen, or kind of like, I think with plasma and sharding, how this is going to happen. And how this is, I don't know. This is getting really kind of strange. Not that I hate Ethereum, and not that I don't hate Vitalik, and not that I don't value him and think that he's a the pivotal figure in cryptocurrencies. But how this is all going to merge together, I don't know. And at some point, when do we make the decision that what they're doing with the beacon chain is already being done with EOS? This is a proof of stake chain that we've already got going on with EOS. I mean, the thing about proof of stake is what everybody's worried about is the validators. Well, I think one of the validators we have, one of the block producers we have, is Google, even though Google doesn't seem to ever move up as far as a block producer is concerned. We are promised that they are in the game and they are moving up. Well, who are these validators? I guess they're just validators that staked a lot of Ethereum, billions of dollars worth of Ethereum. So that's kind of where we're going with Ethereum. So, and then the other thing too, with Ethereum that's troubling me right now is you have, and let's just go to him, Gary Ginsler, and Ethereum. So Ginsler, who is now the Security and Exchange Commissioner, basically said that there's two safe cryptocurrencies in his mind that are safe as far as their ICO, their initial coin offering. One of them being Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin never had an ICO, but Bitcoin will never be somebody that will ever go after Bitcoin. The SEC will never go after it. It's safe. And the other was Ethereum. And basically the analogy was, we're not going to go after Ethereum because Ethereum is decentralized enough. The Ethereum Foundation got started after the ICO. So we're feeling that the Ethereum is decentralized enough that we're not going to go after Ethereum like we went after XRP. We're not going to go back and try and extract money from Ethereum because they are enough decentralized that we're not going to say that they are, that they violate the Howey rule, the Howey test, the Howey law that says that you're a security. Ethereum's not a security. But what if Ethereum goes to proof of stake like EOS did? And now is Ethereum a security because they go to proof of stake and they have to settle with the Security Exchange Commission, much like EOS had to do? And now does Ethereum become non-tradable on exchanges because the Security and Exchange Commission sues them like they did XRP? And that's one of the things I want to bring out here. You've got Cardano. Cardano had an ICO, but nobody's gone after them. Charles Hawkinson, nobody's going after Charles Hawkinson for his ICO, even though Charles Hawkinson doesn't think he's a security. Charles Hawkinson's not an attorney. He's a mathematician and not an attorney. And I've heard him argue the fact that they're not a security. I have a feeling that there could be problems in the future for Cardano as far as the Security Exchange Commission is concerned. And as you can see, Cardano is traded by Coinbase, but XRP is not. And the reason XRP is not is because, look, XRP is in litigation with the Security and Exchange Commission. So the Security and Exchange Commission, and let's look at that, XRP and the SEC. In fact, I don't think they've settled this yet. XRP, Ripple, and this SEC. I don't think they've settled this case yet, but they are probably going to settle this case. And they're going to extract some pretty good money out of Ripple or the XRP. Okay, let's see what's this Security Exchange. It could be a bottleneck with that. Let's look at this real quickly. So SEC versus Ripple settlement. How old is this? June 5th. So this is today. Settlement could be bottleneck flow of XRP, says expert. The lawsuit between the SEC and Ripple is most likely ending in pretrial settlement. 96% of all SEC cases are settled. So this is going to get settled. So literally what's going to happen here is that Ripple's going to pay a tax to the Security and Exchange Commission for their ICO. So they're going to extract a bunch of money from Ripple, XRP, to settle with the Security and Exchange Commission for not getting, for raising money without going through the proper channels of making sure you have a qualified investor, of making sure you haven't violated any of the Howey test rules. So they're going to go ahead and extract a bunch of money. And where does that money go to when Ginsler gets his hands on it, the Security and Exchange Commission, it goes into their ability to hire more attorneys to go after more ICOs. Will they go after Ethereum if Ethereum becomes proof of stake? Will they go after Ethereum because now Ethereum is no longer decentralized, proof of work? They're going to go after proof of stake. Will they go after Ethereum, and will they extract money from Ethereum because they did an ICO without the blessings of the Security and Exchange Commission, without making sure they're qualified investors? Will they do that? I don't know. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. But that could be a problem. And while the Security and Exchange Commission is suing Ethereum because now they're proof of stake and they're centralized, and they did an ICO because without getting the blessings of the federal government, Security and Exchange Commission, the United States Treasury, the United States government, will they be traded on Coinbase? Will Coinbase remove them like they removed XRP? So that could be problems. So all I'm saying is we have an alternative for a smart contract platform that is already settled with that is traded on Coinbase too, which is EOS. So does EOS gain while Ethereum struggles with 2.0? And Vitalik keeps promising something new, something's going to happen, and it never does. And now we've got this this nebulous timeline on when this beacon chain is going to merge with the Ethereum chain, and we're going to have these two communities, one being this side and the other being the other side. And if you want to know how this all operates, just go back and look at Bitcoin when they wanted to extend the blocks and they wanted to make the blockchains longer so they would have quicker transaction times, so we could have faster transactions. You saw the developers that were hardcore stick to Satoshi's, making smaller blocks, and of course, then you had the whole fight with the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Lite, and Litecoin, you had a huge divide. The Litecoin people went this way, and Bitcoin went the other way. And are you going to have that with Ethereum? Are we going to? Is Ethereum going to be one Ethereum when they merge with the beacon chain? I don't know, because it's all about community. It's all about community, and if the communities don't agree, then you're going to have a separation like you did with Bitcoin. And when you had the small blockers and the large blockers, the small blockers want to keep it original. They want to keep it with Satoshi. The others, like I think Vitalik was on the side of making the blocks larger because he was thinking more of the lines of let's attach more, be able to do more, run more code on the chain. So let's make Ethereum so we can run a lot of code on the chain and we can do all kinds of cool stuff and build all kinds of cool things. But you can't do too much cool stuff and build too many cool things when you got gas fees and you've got slow transactional speed. So we're going to have to move to proof of stake. Well, we moved to proof of stake. Now we got problems with the Security and Exchange Commission because now we're more centralized. And of course, now we look more like, somebody that's violated the Howey test and the Security and Exchange Commission rules and laws and regulations. So I don't know how this all makes out. That's why I've always been a big, strong supporter of EOS. This is why I love EOS, because EOS has already crossed that hurdle. They've already made the settlement with the Security and Exchange Commission, and they've already paid the money. And they only paid a few, 25 million, I don't know, 25, 30 million, something like that. But I think Ethereum obviously has more money, so they'll be able to extract more money from Ethereum. And they're going to extract a lot of money from XRP. And of course, that money is going to go to attacking or taking on a lot of these cryptocurrencies that raised money through ICOs. So the coffers of the Security and Exchange Commission are going to be filled up by extracting money from these companies that didn't get the Howey test rule met, that didn't qualify the investors, that sold the security in the United States of America by violation of the Security and Exchange Commission rules and regulations. They're going to give a lot of money to these people, to Gary Ginsler and his core of attorneys, to attack anybody that did an ICO. So you're literally going to be paying a tax. You're going to go back. So if you raised hundreds of millions of dollars by doing an ICO, you're going to go back and you're going to have to pay that tax now by being sued by the Securities and Exchange Commission, much like um, Ripple did, much like XRP's done. They're going to have to pay a big sum of money in order to settle this, and that's going to just strengthen the Securities and Exchange Commission to go after more and more of the ICOs. In the meantime, when do those ICOs that raise a lot of money that may be under jeopardy with the Securities Exchange, when do they get dropped by Coinbase? Because Coinbase is very much run inside of the rules and regs, the rules and regulations, because they are traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange. In fact, let me see what they've done. I own the stock, by the way, Coinbase. I didn't do very well on it. I actually done very poorly with it, but I bought it because I just wanted to watch it. And of course, the best way for me to watch something is to buy it. And let's see what check it out where they're at right now. Yeah, they're down. So yeah, Coinbase is down quite a bit. I think I put $100 in Coinbase, and it's down to $68. So it's lost quite a bit of money. That shows you how much. I mean, I love Coinbase. I use it all the time, but I wanted to just buy $100 worth of their stocks because I wanted to watch it and find out what it did. So anyway, what happens in the meantime? And the other thing I love about Coinbase is they actually track our CHL token. So if you go to Coinbase, and you can see I'm not logged in of my Coinbase account, so this is not my account. And right here is Challenge DAC on Coinbase. So I love Coinbase because they are pretty much straight line. For two reasons I love Coinbase. First of all, they're not sending out any 1099s to the federal government. So you're pretty safe if you got a Coinbase account. It's up to you to report your own taxes if you got Coinbase. You have to be honest. But they're leaving it up to you. They're not reporting to the IRS on you. So they're not giving out your transactions to the IRS, although they're available. The IRS could go straight to Coinbase and collect your account and see everything you've done. But they're not doing it. Unlike people like, I think, is Robinhood doing it? Yeah, I think Robinhood sends out the 1099s to the IRS. So you're going to have to pay taxes, or you're going to have to include it in your tax preparations. So when you do your tax returns and you have a Robinhood account, you're going to have to include your 1099 from Robinhood, and that's going to have to be part of it. So you're going to have to include that income. Coinbase does not do that at this time. I foresee them doing it in the future, but they don't do it right now. But they are tracking our challenge DAC price. So I believe as ICOs become attacked by Securities and Exchange Commission, that Coinbase will start looking for projects that didn't do ICOs. And of course, we're a project that didn't do an ICO. And we're not going to have to go back and have to go through the litigation process or have to have a settlement with Securities and Exchange Commission to be approved by the Securities and Exchange Commission, being approved by the federal government so that we can trade our token in the United States of America. We didn't do that. We didn't get any money from anybody. We did an airdrop. We gave it away. And, Coinbase is tracking our token. We're hoping that one day they will trade our token. But at this point, CHL is being tracked by Coinbase. And here I'm showing you. I'm on the Coinbase. Right here, I'm on the Coinbase.com prices. And right here is Challenge DAC. Now, they track a lot of other tokens too, but I'm just saying they do track us. So I do appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons why I like Coinbase. And I do trust him. Basically, Brian Brooks, who was the chief legal officer for Coinbase, goes to become the comptroller of the currency of the United States government and is involved. So if you want to be connected through your connections with the federal government, what a better place to be than Coinbase. I don't particularly like holding my own private keys. A lot of people do. I know that's more of a purist way of doing it. I'd rather trust an exchange. You never know. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go into some of the places my mind goes when it comes to private keys and stuff like that. I don't even want to I don't want to bring that into the topic. Maybe one day I'll talk about it, but I could envision some problems in the future with private keys held on cold storage wallets. I don't know how much. I mean, I'm not going to say anything about that now. I'm not going to go there because that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers. But anyway, I like Coinbase. I've always liked Coinbase. One of the reasons is they track our challenge DAC, and the other reason is because they they are pretty well vetted by the federal government, and in the jurisdiction of which I live, the jurisdiction of California, and the jurisdiction of the United States of America, which I believe is going to be, I think the United States is going to take the lead with Bitcoin, because right now their favorite son, Elon Musk, who makes his cars in the United States as well as other countries, but in the United States, will probably such an ass. I knew that would probably bring up some bad comments, but anyway, I'm not going to go in. But I may, this could be a daily vlog. So if you want to interact with me on things like that, let's do it. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's get it on. What a tease! Yeah, let's get it on. Let's talk about it. You want to hold your private keys on a hardware wallet. I think that's a great idea. That's a great idea. But there is such a thing called forking, and there's such a way of being able to fork an entire product, an entire protocol, and So anyway, let's not go there right now. What else do I want to talk about today in this? Like I say, this may be a daily vlog, so we'll get a lot of people to talk. Maybe I'll get some people to talk if I start talking about hardware wallets. And of course, I'll get a lot of people to talk if I start talking about Vitalik, because if I want to make people upset, I start talking about Ethereum and its Vitalik. And I will tell you right now, personally, I own Ethereum. And I've owned Ethereum for a long time. And I know that people own Ethereum for a little bit of nothing, and they're never going to leave Ethereum. Just like I'll never leave Bitcoin, because I own Bitcoin. And Bitcoin's done very well for me. Bitcoin has made me, what would I say, for a person my age, and I'm 61 years old, and I've had a lot of health problems, as I've shown on this channel, and I've had a lot of failures in life. I feel like one of the few successes I've ever had in life has been Bitcoin. And so, yeah, I'm always going to be a Bitcoin purist, because I love Bitcoin, because it's been successful for me, just like people that like Ethereum, because Ethereum's been successful for them. So I'm never going to not like Bitcoin. I'm never going to not like Ethereum. I'm always going to like it. But my question is you talk about teases. Someone just said, what a tease. Well, what a tease with Vitalik and 2.0. He's been teasing about this for a long time. And now he's become kind of the ultra statesman of Ethereum. And now he's kind of going off and saying, they kind of like, well, this is just, we don't, and I've listened to the sharding, and I've listened to the plaza, and I've listened to the proofs. I mean, there's something out there called a proof. And what this is it was a really hard problem to get solved. And once you solve that problem, then you kind of become one of the validators. You can become one of the validators because you show you've got so much power to solve this problem that now we can be that's called a proof. Hawkinson is big into proofs. That's why Hawkinson's so big into peer review, or into validation through being able to write articles, or be able to write things that are very technical, and being able to understand very technical problems. He's into that because if you can solve a proof or a very difficult problem, you have a lot of computing power. That shows that you're not a spammer, or you're not somebody that's just throwing stuff out there. That's why Bitcoin is such a beautiful system. The idea of Bitcoin was that, yeah, you have to invest a lot in order to mine the Bitcoin. So you can't just hack the system. You have to be a miner, and in order to be a miner, you have to be able to produce a lot of computing power, which makes it very powerful. So, great. So this is something that's what we'll be talking about in the future. But I'll go ahead and I'll read through some of the comments. Trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to talk about today. Oh, well, as long as we're doing that, let's just talk about another thing that I want to start doing quite often is I want to talk about our challenge token, because our challenge token, and let's just go to challenge. It's been a huge success. And the reason it's been such a huge success is because it runs. It's like it's like Vitalik always says, the cool stuff never gets run because it's too expensive because of the gas fees. Well, this actually runs, and it's a real world work use case that runs and uses cryptocurrency. One of the things with cryptocurrency is why would you want to use a cryptocurrency? Well, the reason you want to use a cryptocurrency because it's decentralized. And decentralization means that you're not being under the thumb of some centralized organization like the Federal Reserve or the something like that. You're being decentralized. Our application runs on a decentralized platform, which is EOS, which is 21 validators that provide a blockchain for us to run this, and we're running it. And you're able to go on there and create challenges, and in the ability to create a challenge, you can get people to do stuff like post something or follow something or make a like on something, and then get a little cryptocurrency for that, and then be able to convert that cryptocurrency into a Bitcoin through a number of ways of doing it through the different exchanges. And what we're hoping to do is to get on a Coinbase so it's very interchangeable with, you could go from CHL to Bitcoin very easily. You could go to CHL to EOS very quickly. You go to CHL to Ethereum very quickly. And now when you do that, and you could go onto our application, you do something very easy to do. You earn some cryptocurrency. Then you take that cryptocurrency, depending on the exchange, between how it's trading in comparison to Bitcoin or anything else, you can trade it for something, and then you can have it immediately sent to your fiat bank account. So we have developed a real world use case for cryptocurrency through our challenge application. And all you need to do is go to Challenge EOS in the App Store, Google Play Store, and download it, and you spin a wheel and earn some cryptocurrency. You can do it through Token Pocket. I think I've made a video on that, and you can do that. So there's a way of, if you're in a place where there's no opportunities, the devaluation of your currency is like in Venezuela and some of these other countries becoming valueless every less day. You can go online. You can get on an app like Challenge. You can do simple tasks, follow my son's channel, and I'll show you his channel, and I'm going to start linking to his channel. I'm going to start talking a little bit more about his videos because he's got great stuff going on, and we have built a great community, and that's what this is all about. This is about community. He happens to be a fighter too, and he was a Division I wrestler. So if I just type in his name, I get more about his MMA career than I do about his cryptocurrency. But let's say Challenge. And he's got a fight coming up here pretty quick too. So here we go. We're talking about KuCoin, and I'm gonna go right here. There we go. Here we're getting onto some of his crypto stuff. So yeah, you need to follow my son. He is probably one of the brilliant minds in cryptocurrency today, because he's one of the few people that has actually developed something that has a working has a game theory and a real world use case for cryptocurrency. Not a store of value like Bitcoin, not Ethereum, where anything cool can't be built because it's too expensive and it doesn't run fast enough to build it. He has built something that runs extraordinarily well on the blockchain. And all you need to do is go to either your App Store or your Google Play Store, type in Challenge EOS, and you'll find it. And you can do the challenges and earn some cryptocurrency and play around with it. And like I say, he's one of the few people that have done this. And most of my understanding of the cryptocurrency world comes from my son, because he has followed this for many years now, was involved with Bitcoin way in the very beginning, and he's really I would never be in cryptocurrencies if it wasn't for him, and I would never understand anything if it wasn't for him. So you need to follow him and follow Challenge, because I think there's bigger things coming up for Challenge very soon. I do think as the Security Exchange Commission's coffers start to build with all the settlements that they extract from people like XRP and Ripple, and they start challenging everybody that made hundreds of millions of dollars through ICOs, that it'll open the door for people like Challenge to be listed on some of these other exchanges. And once these exchanges, they need inventory. Coinbase needs inventory. If you wipe out a third of Coinbase's tokens because they're in lawsuits with the Security Exchange Commission, what are they going to trade? Like I say, even Ethereum could be in jeopardy if they become centralized through proof of stake. And now, there's a lawsuit against Ethereum and they have to extract some money because of their ICO. So anyway, good stuff. And if you want to follow it, I think it's like I said, one of the few real world use cases for cryptocurrency in the world right now. And it's running, and it's not some theoretical thing that's never been built, like so much. I mean, we've got stuff that's just go to the top market cap. Like we say, Ethereum 2.0 has never been launched. Cardano never been launched. Dogecoin, it's just a meme. All this stuff that really hasn't done much. There's a lot of stuff here that's never been built or is still in theoretically yet to be built. But here's one that has been built and is up and running very well, which is CHL, but trades for hundreds of a penny. And as things start to materialize, things start to become, we sort out who's really swimming in bathing suits and who's really swimming naked. And as the water starts to recede, as Warren Buffett would say, and we see who really has the swimsuits on and who's really swimming in the buff, we're going to find out who's really got something going, who really doesn't have something going. Well, in those days, when that happens, then we will find out. Something like Challenge will have something to show people, as we have a real world use case for cryptocurrency, and we have a way for people to earn cryptocurrency by doing simple tasks. And we have something that's valuable to the community, and something that the community can use, and something that the community can use value that they can use to live on. So it's creating a way for people to have a living, to make a living. It's creating a way for people to join, as Michael Saylor would say, to be able to join into economic prosperity. I mean, one of the things I love about Michael Saylor is that he's so passionate, as being a guy that has a lot of money, about the opportunity that cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, lend to so many people around the world. And that's what Challenge application is doing. It's giving people the opportunity to join in to the cryptocurrency world and be able to earn a living or make money by doing something online, easy to do, and then be able to transfer that into cryptocurrencies and be able to have a cryptocurrency that may appreciate 1,000%, 2,000%, 3,000%, 4,000%, like Dogecoin. One other thing I was going to talk about. Let's go back to Deutsch again. And by the way, I do own Dogecoin too. So I'm not an anti-Deutscher. I do like Deutsch, and I like dogs. If you watch I have a video up a few years back where we lost our dog, and it was probably one of the toughest videos I ever made about losing our dog. I love dogs, so I'm into dogs. I love Deutsch, and I love dogs, and I love Deutsch because it's about a generation that's pissed off at the world today. It's about a generation that realizes that, there's financial struggles are outside of their ability to make a future for themselves by just going to school and working hard, because the money manipulations and by the fact that the currency has been so diluted that they have to do something extraordinary in order to afford a family, to afford a house, to afford any kind, and they're pissed off, and that's why they're buying up Deutsch, and that's why they get bought up GameStop, because this is their way of telling the world that we're not happy, and we're not happy with the way things have been run, and we want to be able to prosper too. So they're pushing something like Dogecoin up. They love Deutsch, and that's why that's doing. That's why people that are purists, they don't like Dogecoin, because when you go to Dogecoin, they don't see the technology behind it, but they don't understand the community, and they don't understand this is about community as much as it is about technology. That's why I'm saying when Ethereum merges with Beacon, how do they merge two complete separate communities? I don't know. And then that's yet to be seen. And that's why Vitalik has no date on when 2.0 will be launched, proof of stake for Ethereum. But anyway, let's just go to the prices. One of the things that's very interesting to me is that Dogecoin just literally recently got listed or is traded by Coinbase. I think in the beginning, Coinbase stayed away from Dogecoins because it really was a meme coin. It's about, it's a meme coin. So they stayed away from it. But now they list it and they trade it. And of course, it's worth, it's got $129 billion. What's the supply? Market cap's $48 billion. And of course, it's a very inflationary coin. Things are, but it's been basically taken over by Elon Musk. And the thing that I think is very interesting is that why would Elon take on Deutsche? Well, one of the reasons why I think he's taken on Dogecoin is because they never had the ICO. They're never going to have the problems with the Security Exchange Commission that all these other ICO companies are going to have. ICO accounts are going to have. So Deutsche is in the clear. Deutsche is traded on Coinbase. And even though there's not a lot of technology here and it's a meme coin, they're traded and they're embraced by Coinbase, which is, the Boy Scout of cryptocurrency exchanges. They're doing everything right. So if they're going to list Deutsche, they're going to list Deutsche because they feel like it's safe, even though it doesn't have a lot of technology behind it. But they're going to list it because it's safe because they never did an ICO. So yeah, because they never did an ICO. Hey, Leaf, it's nice to hear from you, man. How you doing? Yeah, I'm going to hold in the torch for a while. I'm going to keep this thing going. I mean, I went through some very difficult medical problems. It almost killed me. And I posted a picture of my chest after the surgery that I went through. And, I got back and I didn't really feel like making videos and I was tired. I was still trying to get my medications worked out as far as my heart was concerned. But I realized after listening to some videos and watching, being frustrated with Elon breaking up the Bitcoin market and being able to twist things around, I really saw this and I started saying, hey, man, I want to get back involved with this because I need to know what's going on because this is really something I love. And yeah, I'm going to start making these videos every day, hopefully every day, maybe not as long as this one is. I know how long this one's been going on for, probably been going on for a while. But anyway, I want to start making these videos because I want to start giving the backstories of what's going on. Instead of just giving you the head and shoulders and candles and supports and stuff like that, I want to talk about the backstory of why Elon Musk has been so powerful in the media today, why they are focusing and following on him so closely, why he is basically the U.S. representative of cryptocurrency, and why he's become the richest man in the world. Because I think that the U.S. government, the people that are really the decision makers for our financial system are backing Elon Musk and backing his ideas and backing his green technology and backing the fact that he wants to mine Bitcoin and he wants to make everything. And actually, the more we mine Bitcoin and the more that the money is being extracted from a renewable resource like the sun, the better our quality of life, our higher quality of life, higher standard of life, the living that we have. So hopefully that happens. So yeah, if you've commented and I haven't made mention to your comment, I'm sorry about that. I've been trying to make some few points here. I've had a few people comment. Of course, they'll be in the live stream. I'm going to post this on YouTube. In fact, I don't know if it's running live on YouTube or not, but it'll be on live on YouTube. Yeah, Bitcoin to the moon, 50,000. I love Bitcoin. I will always love Bitcoin. My wife always tells me that her first love is smoking. I'd have to tell her back, my first love is Bitcoin. Even though we've been married to each other for a long time, her first love is smoking. My first love is Bitcoin. So yeah, Bitcoin is my first love. I would say EOS is definitely my second love. But the reason I love Bitcoin is because it's so simple and it's so brilliant, and because it solves such an incredible problem, which it is, Michael Saylor says so well, so much better than I could ever say. It opens the doors to so many people in the world for um, to better their lives, and it makes the world a happier place. So yeah, I think Bitcoin makes the world a happier place, and that's why I love Bitcoin. It's like I say, it's my first love. I hope this causes a Bitcoin to dump, and okay, so like say to EOS to the moon. EOS is a love of mine too, and even though it's disappointed me so many times, you know, I've been so disappointed in EOS so many times. I still love it. Um, I still think that Dan Larimer, as much as Dan Larimer's disappointed me a lot of times, I've made great videos about Dan, how great a guy he is, and then I've made videos about Dan and how bad a guy he is. But in the end of the day, I love uh, the mind of Dan Larimer. I love the mind of Elon Musk. I love the mind of Vitalik Buterin, of Michael Saylor. These guys are brilliant guys, and this stuff is interesting to me, and I love this stuff, and this is why I want to continue to make these daily podcasts, whatever you want to call it, a podcast, if you want to call it live stream, whatever you want to call it. Try to make them daily, and we'll try to stay up with the market and try to give people some other stuff to think about. So anyway, a lot of interesting stuff going on. I suppose I better end this stuff up. Yeah, I miss the good old days too. I remember when this Crypto Freeze, how you doing? Uh, uh, I miss the good old ages too, when I was making a nightly video, and I was so excited, and I just wanted to do it every night, and I just wanted to keep it going. And like I say, when Bitcoin, I mean, EOS went all the way down to like $2. When I was calling for $100 parties, it was a big disappointment to me. It was a disappointment to me that they didn't support the applications that were running on their blockchain very well. We literally have never had any support from EOS, and we're running an application, and that's what it used to be about. Was, hey, we want to create an application to run. We want to create a blockchain to run applications, and then what do? We throw all of our money, our heart, soul, blood, tears, work, everything at it, and we get absolutely no help from EOS. No support, nothing. Not even an acknowledgement from Dan Larimer on a live stream that we exist. So yeah, I've been disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's like Steve Jobs says, you've got to do what you love, and even if it does disappoint you sometimes, and even if it you haven't been as successful as you wanted to be, or things hadn't turned out the way you wanted to do, you have to do what you love. And I love this stuff. I find it very interesting, and so I will try to be a little bit more what would you say, a little bit more reliable as far as these videos are concerned, a little bit more making videos more often, and talking a little bit more about the backstories. Because the one thing I do have is I have a lot of years behind me, and I've seen a lot of inflation. I've seen a lot of times of flat economy. I've seen times where things are going very well, and I've seen times where things are going bad, very bad. We're in interesting times right now because there could be some major changes on the horizon as far as where this. I'm not a person that is a doom and gloomer person that thinks things are going to go bad, but I also think that we are probably in one of the most transitional times in the history of civilization, as far as where this goes from here. I mean, we've got so many things going on. We have pandemics going on. We've got transitioning to new renewable resource energies. We've got a lot of people that are being left behind in an old economy and have to transition to a new economy. And that's what we're doing with Challenge Token. We're transitioning people to a new economy. It's like the governor of Kentucky is trying to do for the citizens of their state. And I don't know is it he or she, Kentucky governor, whoever that is. Let's just pull her up again. Kentucky, whoever she is, I think it was a she. She's trying to help the citizens of Kentucky. No, it's a he. It's Andy Bashir, signed Thursday. Okay, so I thought it was a woman governor, but I guess they have it's a guy governor. But anyway, this guy is trying to do the right thing by the citizens of the state of Kentucky. He's trying to transition them into the new economy. He's trying to transition them into mining Bitcoin and not mining coal. That's what we're trying to do with Challenge. We're trying to transition people into, instead of going out and getting, um, working or basically starving because you have no economy, because there's no markets, there's no access to a financial system, there's no access to banks, there's no access to infrastructure. You're starving. We're trying to give you an opportunity that if you've got a cell phone, you can get them, come on our application, and you can make, enough money to maybe live on. And that's what we're trying to do. And that's what the governor of Kentucky is trying to do too. So I don't know what other decisions this governor's made, but I think this governor is thinking ahead. And just like Elon's thinking ahead. And Elon's thinking about mining Bitcoin and being in the Bitcoin space and using this. This guy is a smart guy. I mean, don't ever. I've made some negative videos about him, but he's a smart guy. And I don't think he's always. I don't know that he's technically as smart as people think he is. I would say that he lacks a little bit of technical knowledge. He's not Vitalik when it comes to computer programming and other stuff, but he is certainly a smart man, and he's a smart man in business, and he's a smart man in marketing. But as far as his technical skills are concerned, I don't know. But anyway, he's leading us right now in the Bitcoin space, and I think he will lead us to higher prices. And of course, the all-time favorite person that I have is Michael Saylor. Of course, Michael Saylor of MicroStrategies, who is a brilliant man as far as his ability to understand Bitcoin. And I think he has done the deep dive more than anybody else, more than Elon has done, and more than anybody else. Michael Saylor has done the deep dive into Bitcoin. So I'm a big fan of Michael Saylor. I love Max Keiser. Max Keiser is a great person for cryptocurrencies. Although Max thinks there's only one cryptocurrency, and that's Bitcoin. Nothing else exists but Bitcoin, and everything else is just to try to steal your Bitcoin. Or not steal your Bitcoin, but to try to acquire Bitcoin. But he has not looked at the smart contract features of Ethereum or EOS, and I think unless you do that, you're only getting half the you're only getting a store of value, which this is leading us to a next phase of the internet. This is leading us to, and this is why Vitalik is such a brilliant person in this, so valuable in the space, is because he foresaw running code on the blockchain, code that could do more than just be a store of value. And that, for that reason, he's a very wealthy man and very influential in the world today. So anyway, probably time to sign off for this live stream, because I have rambled for quite on some time. Like I say, I will be trying to do more videos over time and talking a little bit more about this stuff. Another guy, and like I say, he's 98 years old, I believe, Henry Kissinger. I owe this man a great debt. He'll never know my name, but I know his name. He'll never know who I am, but I thank him for everything he did for me and for my family and for the country I grew up in and lived in, because he was able to negotiate agreements that made the United States of America have favorable trade status with almost every country in the world, and make it so that we had a very high standard of living in the United States, although at a heavy cost, because for negotiating these great agreements, there was a cost, and the cost was there was a huge military expenditure, huge military cost. So that wasn't the good part about Henry, but he did have good parts, and I did grow up in a very what would you say? I wouldn't say affluent, but a very, very, very comfortable life through my years because of his ability to negotiate. And of course, that's the other thing about cryptocurrencies and green technology, is that it doesn't involve war. With making the petrodollar used, or forcing people to use the dollar to buy oil, meant that there had to be strong military. That's what Ronald Reagan was all about, building up the military to keep the dollar strong. So that's why the United States has spent so much on the military. It wasn't because they were trying to defend their borders, but because they were trying to enforce the trade, the U.S. trade being the currency of the world. And that's why they developed such a strong military. That's why the Bushes, why the Reagans, why they all wanted a strong military because they wanted to enforce the dollar's uh, dominance as far as world. You know, you have to. It's almost like that's why you hold gold because anybody will accept it. It's why you hold dollars because anybody will take it. It's because that's why gold is universal. Anybody, I can walk up to anybody, any place in the world, and if I give them a gold coin, they're going to take it. They're not going to say no, we don't take that, or we don't. I'm not going to accept that. I don't think there would be a person in the world that would turn down a nice piece of gold jewelry. So, and that's the way the dollar's been. It's been like a piece of gold jewelry. Anybody in the world would take it. So, for that reason, it's been a good ride for Henry Kissinger. Like I say, he's getting to be a very old man at this time, and I hope that people could appreciate what he's done for the United States of America, because he was probably one of the greatest negotiators in the history of this country, and he did a lot of good things for the United States. So anyway, we'll finish off this stream, and it looks like we went on for an hour and 20 minutes, which is probably not a bad time for this, and hopefully I get some good feedback from it, and I will try to answer comments. One of the things, I don't ask anybody to subscribe to this channel. You don't have to subscribe to this channel. Don't subscribe to this channel. I don't want you to subscribe to this channel. I want you to watch this channel. Don't subscribe. I don't care if you subscribe or not. I've got 5,000 subscribers. It's literally zero monetary value to me. I don't even know why I run the ads. The only reason I run the ads is because I think that if I run the ads, I do get a little better ranking as far as people suggesting my video. So that's the only reason I run. So don't subscribe. I don't care if you subscribe. Just watch and interact. And interact with me on the comments, and I will interact with you. You will never get on my comments some robot response. You'll never get a robot response. You'll get either I write the response or it doesn't get answered. There's a lot of times I don't answer them. I read almost every single one of them because it pops up on I've got my notifications turned on. So every time you write me a response, I'm on my computer 90% of the time. So if I'm running around, I'm on my computer, or if I'm on my cell phone. So I see your comment. I see them all the time. So if you want to comment, I read it. Sometimes I respond, sometimes I don't respond. I like responding because I think if someone took the time to watch my video, I have a duty to respond and at least interact with them. And most of the responses I get are pretty good. So, I respond. Don't subscribe, respond, or watch. I don't care if you subscribe or not. I just want you to watch, and I want you to interact, and I want you to participate, and I want you to join in, because I enjoy the dialogue. I enjoy listening to people, and I just hope that more people listen and more people interact with this, because I do think it is the future. And I think if you're one of the younger generation and then you're worried about your future and you're worried about how you're going to support a family and how you're going to buy a house, especially here in Southern California, or how you're going to have a retirement, this would be a good time to start following cryptocurrencies, because the legacy companies are going to struggle in inflationary times, and we have inflationary times coming up. I noticed this. Keep going on here just a little bit longer. I noticed this with my own. Let's see if I can expand the screen here. I noticed this a lot with the stuff that I'm doing, like when I'm buying stuff from Amazon. I noticed that I have to assemble a lot of the stuff myself. So I realized that it's getting cheaper and cheaper. If I put a Phillips screwdriver on the end of an, I noticed that it twists off really easy. So as the inflation comes along, the product will be cheaper. Products will be cheaper. It's like I've seen signs in stores now. Don't go by what the price may say on the product. We have the right to charge a different price because our prices are going up so fast. So if you're this younger community, younger generation, the schools are starting to become Bitcoin believer. Yeah, thank you very much. The schools are starting to become, less valuable. Educations are becoming less because there's so much valuable on just being on the internet and learning from the internet. So if you're struggling to figure out what you're going to do with yourself, where you're going to go, what you're going to do, this would be a great time to start getting involved with cryptocurrencies and this technology, and studying it and starting to understand it, and realizing you do have a bright future. And don't be so worried about inflation and the fact so many companies are going to be probably looking to either automate, um, to cheapen their costs because of the inflation, or to lessen the amount of workforce they have because they have to cheapen it because they can't afford, to make it for what they've been making it before, and they can't afford to raise the prices because they lose customers. So yeah, this is a good time to be involved, good time to get going. So anyway, for everybody who watched, I appreciate it. Like I say, I don't ask anybody to subscribe. Don't subscribe. I don't care. 5,000 was my magic figure. When I saw I had 5,000 subscribers, I felt like I've achieved my goal. So if you don't want to subscribe, don't subscribe. If you subscribe, I appreciate it. But I want you to watch and interact. And like I say, I will try to interact as much as I can with you back. I'm a pretty friendly guy to talk to. I don't dislike anybody. Basically, even if you're mean, say mean comments, I don't dislike you. I just try to figure out why you're saying it and try to understand your side of it. And if I agree, I agree. If I don't agree, I don't agree. And if we can agree to disagree, but I don't dislike people for anything they say. They can say anything they want to say. I don't really care. I've been through 2 major heart surgeries, almost died a couple times, and been through 61 years of life. And obviously everybody wants to have people like him. But if you don't like it, you don't like it. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you think that I don't, my point of views are terrible or horrible, that's okay. Just comment and watch, and we can maybe find some common ground. I appreciate you watching. Thank you.